Can I make an interesting film out of a sock? Well, let's backtrack for a second. Why am I forcing myself to make a film out of a sock? I haven't made a short film in over 2 years. I am sick to death of throwing my hands up in the air at my crazy schedule, and I said enough is enough. I'm making something right freaking now. I just want to make something, and I want to make it compelling. It's got to be simple for my crazy schedule. It needs to be something very simple, but it also needs to be compelling. I want it to be interesting, because if it's not interesting, what's the point? I'll show you how I put this project together, step by step, how I kept it lean, mean, and shootable, something I can make by myself with no crew, and more importantly, how you can do it too. I will be following my lean, mean, shootable projects checklist step by step to put this together. So if you want to download the checklist and follow along, the link is in the description. This is the exact same process that I teach my students in the Get to Shooting program, the exact same process I followed from my last 6 short films. The first step is to start now using what you have. I will be acting in it myself. Well, I'm not the best actor, okay? I will show you what I'm gonna do later on to get around this. Step 2 is to list your resources because, well, we're gonna be working backwards from this. I can use my house as a location. I have complete control over this. In terms of props, Britt bought a pair of socks the other day. Pretty sure I can make a story out of that. If I could get her to act in it, that would actually be great. Hold on. Okay, so I asked her, and this is what she said.
I am happy to help out. However, I am not an actress, and I'm not super comfortable, acting and being in a film. So, yikes.
She's on board, but I won't be getting a close-up of her entire face as she's really uncomfortable in front of camera, which is super understandable. She would also like to have final approval before I release the film. Again, totally understandable. So after I finish cutting everything, I will be showing her the final film before I release it. Next, I need to back into a story based on my resources, not showing wifey's whole face, all of the things. More on this later. Step 3 is to adjust your media diet. Now, I already watch a ton of short films, so this box is already checked for me. I get loads of ideas and inspiration from consuming other people's work. However, fair warning to you, don't skip this step. If you skip step number 3, you're literally shooting yourself in the foot. Step 4, we need to make this project 10 pages or less. The shorter the project, the better. In my case, this needs to be like 2 minutes or less. I literally have no time for this. Step 5 is to make it relatable. We don't want a story that requires loads of backstory and exposition. When your story has loads of backstory and exposition, this is your audience. Okay? We get around this problem by writing about what's relatable. So what can I write about a sock that's relatable? I don't know, losing a sock in a dryer? Maybe that's kind of relatable. Let's make sure our protagonist has a clear filmable goal. It should be something we can see on camera. So my guy finds one sock while folding his clothes. Cool, where do we go from here? What's his goal? The story I came up with is he finds his ex-partner's sock in the laundry, and his goal is to deliver it to her. We can kind of make it like a lost love story, like the she's the one that got away type deal. Next, we need to find out what that filmable obstacle is. This should be something we can see on camera. Well, maybe this guy's obstacle is longing. Maybe he's heartbroken. Maybe the flood of memories he gets when he sees the sock, that could work, right? Next, we need to make sure our protagonist is active, because at the end of the day, characters are only as interesting as what they do. So my guy finds the sock and decides to deliver the sock to his ex. That, that's kind of active. Maybe he gift wraps it. Wrapping it would be something active as well. It says a lot about his character and how he feels about her. Love it. Next, we want to remove as much dialogue as humanly possible. I'm acting in it, so if I don't have to deal with dialogue, it makes my life a lot easier. Well, ideally, I don't want any dialogue. Remember that whole I'm not like the greatest actor thing? This is definitely gonna help with that. Step number 10, you must be prepared to shoot solo or crew minimal if necessary. I'm shooting this bad boy solo dolo because even if I had friends who wanted to get in on this, more than likely our schedules wouldn't line up anyways because I'm working with really small pockets of time. So a quick recap, I'm making a love story about a guy who finds his ex's sock in the laundry, gift wraps it, and hand delivers it to her. Cool, let's press on to pre-production. I'm not gonna cover everything that I did. I don't think that would be the best use of our time. I'm just gonna highlight the relevant bits. First up, not showing my wife's face. What am I gonna do about this? So I love Terrence Malick's work. It's very poetic, it's very lyrical. He has a way of capturing relationships in these like vignettes. I'm particularly interested in his use of the close-up for this piece that we're doing. As I was putting together my lookbook, doing recon and research, I found a few cool shorts that were inspired by old Terry. There are a few moments and interesting shots using these close-ups that give me some ideas of how we might pull this whole thing off, especially with regards to hiding the face. Here's the plan. In the story, Reggie has flashbacks of his ex when he finds the sock. Rather than write scenes with dialogue, like whole scenes showing the relationship, I would rather do more of a memory type approach where we just see things in vignettes. Think of it more like a montage of intimate, candid close-ups. This way I could still show the relationship without having to show too much of, Brit's face. I have a set of Voigtlander lenses which can practically shoot macro. We're gonna be using that feature to get some of these intimate close-ups. I'll be shooting myself with a set of manual lenses. There are obvious challenges with doing this. I'll be doing two things to make this work. One, I'm gonna be grabbing focus, and I'll be using things like stand-ins and other techniques for grabbing focus when shooting yourself. And for the shooting style, I'll be using lots of static shots because this is the most practical approach. I want shots that just pull you into the story like a black hole. So here's what I mean by like a very powerful static shot that just pulls you into the storytelling. When he finds his ex's sock, I want to get an extreme close-up of his eye. I mean, like really freaking close. As he examines the sock in his hand, right? We're gonna see him looking through his glasses at the sock. And I want to be able to see him turning the sock in his hands inside of the glasses frame. So it's gonna be like a frame within a frame inside of an extremely tight close-up, okay? It's gonna be very difficult to get given I'm shooting myself. We're using all manual lenses. I'm gonna be like really close to the lens, so the depth of field is gonna be really small. But the storytelling juice behind a shot like this is just too intoxicating to resist. So I must have it in this film. I'm gonna get it. And just, for all intents and purposes, I like to get my shot's name, and I'm calling this shot, I'm calling this shot the nasty work shot. To pull it off, it's gonna be nasty work. It's gonna be difficult, but I'm looking forward to it. Before I press on, if you've been feeling stuck or stagnant, like you should be shooting more, but you don't know how to make it work around your busy schedule, hey, let's break the cycle. Let's get you shooting a portfolio of lean, mean, shootable projects with the resources that you already have. You don't have to have scripts or ideas to get started. We're talking literally from day one, you'll be shooting, and I'm not talking about apples on your living room table. I'm talking stuff you'd be proud to share. And we've had people literally submitting projects they made in the first week of this program to film festivals because they turned out so well. You'll be shooting a series of targeted film assignments with a cohort of like-minded filmmakers. So we're gonna give you the sandbox, but you gotta fill it with your creativity. You will be getting personalized feedback on all of your projects along the way. And the curriculum is literally A to Z. I will be showing you everything you need to know to be able to confidently make simple, focused, and compelling films with the resources you've already got. We're talking films that you could easily shoot solo or crew minimal. This is not just about the technical stuff. This is not just about stories, not just about storytelling. It's all of it. If this sounds like you, join us. We are starting December 9th. Seats are limited. We can only really work with a small handful of filmmakers at a time for obvious reasons, right? This is a very high touch program. Click the link below to apply. And by the way, if you're seeing this in the future and that date has already passed, you can click the link below and join our waiting list. Okay, I am shooting this solo. Here's my plan to make all this more manageable as far as sound, lighting, and production is concerned. For sound, just using a camera top mic. I'm recording audio straight into the camera. This is gonna make things a lot easier and more convenient for me. Now I'm gonna have to make up for that convenience by doing Foley, sound design, things of that nature, but well worth it. I'm gonna be using monopods and light sticks for most of this, okay? The light stick brand that I've been using for years is Yokoi. I don't think they make these anymore. They're pretty cheap. Monopods and mic stands. These types of stands are very mobile. I can move them around quickly to make adjustments on the fly. Love me some monopods. I got 3 of these. I have QR quick release plates on the bottoms of all of my light sticks so that I can detach them from like a monopod and set it on a small pair of sticks really quickly. These little things make all the difference when you're shooting solo or crew minimal. Okay. The biggest light that I'll use is like an Aperture 120D with a Fresnel lens. I'll be putting this outside of a window, although I can probably make do without even using this light, if I really wanted to, but I'm gonna go ahead on and use it because I have it, love the quality of it. And of course, I plan on using good old-fashioned delicious sunlight through a window. Staging scenes next to windows when appropriate, cheating things around so I can shoot it next to a window for easy breezy lighting. For my lighting strategy, I'm only concerned with one thing, creating as much separation as humanly possible. I want a diabolical amount of separation. When appropriate, I will be lighting the subject separately from the background to create as much separation as I can, which by default creates more depth in our images. And of course, we always want depth in our images because it makes our images feel 3D, right? Like your subjects just like pow, pop out at you. As we press on, I'll show you how I do this. Shooting Britt without showing too much of her face. Here's what I plan to do. I want to get a shot of her hands interacting with something, okay? It could be something around the house, anything around the house really. It just needs to feel like a memory. It's something he saw her doing one day. I want to get a shot of her feet and his feet in like a close-up as well. This will help communicate that closeness. I want to get like a macro shot of her eye. This is kind of gonna mimic what he saw one day. He was really close to her and he looked into her eyes. I also want to get a shot of their hands in the air, interlocking, connected. Again, we're just visually showing that connection that they had. We have our plan. I shoot here soon and I plan to knock this entire short film out in a couple of days. And yeah, let's do some damage. So the shot of her interacting with something, we're gonna have her touching plants around the house. We're gonna pop the shot off by the window here. This is gonna be our light source. What I don't care for is sort of the slashes of light that we get from the Venetian here. So it just looks kind of distracting. You can see on my skin here how distracting that looks. So we're gonna go ahead on and shower curtain this window off just to diffuse the light so it's all even. And so we've got this side closed and this side open so that we get far side key lighting on the hands. With that diffusion, things look much better, much creamier, makes everything look all schmexy. This is gonna be shot number one of hiding Britt's face, and we are off to a good start. Next, the extreme close-up of the eyes. We're gonna do some improv shots here. I'm gonna use the same lighting setup, but I'm just gonna get her as close as I can to that window.
Okay. When you see the shot, you'll see what we're so tight, it just looks like skin in an eye.
For the shot of the feet here, I snuck this shot while out and about. I brought my Lumix G7 along to Little Man's soccer game, and when I had some time, just popped the shot off. Here's the concept, and here is the end result. The interlocking hands. This is an example of lighting for separation. The key light is a Yokoi light stick. I've got a nuclear backlight blasting through that window. This is the 120D with a Fresnel lens. After I framed up the shot, I hopped in there, we knocked it out. Pretty easy peasy. Here's the concept for the shot, and here's what we got. The shot is coming up. The shot. The one. You know the one. The one. So we're gonna be on the Voight 42, which is gonna be like 82, right? Super telephoto. We're almost set up with lighting. I'm expecting to do a lot of takes. I have some other shots, you know, as backups in case I can't get the shot, but I don't wanna have to use them because I really want the shot. This is my scheme here. So I've got a light stick lighting the sock, and this is so that you can see me turning the sock in the reflection in my glasses. And I've got another light stick, and this is bouncing off of a disc on my bed, and this is actually lighting my face. You wanna frame yourself up and then press record, and then move as minimally as possible so that you don't accidentally move yourself and blow focus. Between trying to get the focus right, trying to get the framing right, and trying to get the blocking right so you could see my hand in the shot, I have done 20 takes of this bloody shot so far, and I don't think we got it yet. I keep blowing the focus or blowing the framing because we're so tight on my stinking eyeball. I refuse to move on until I get this shot, okay? Because this shot is money bags. I think we got it. I think we got it. I, no exaggeration, did about 35 or 40 takes to get that shot. It's not trying to pull a David Fincher. It's just like the focal plane is literally millimeters, fam. But it took about an hour. The nasty work shot is in the bag. Let's shift gears and look at some examples of lighting for separation. That is lighting for diabolical separation. So this is about to be the shot where Reggie dumps the clothes out onto the bed and starts folding clothes and eventually finds the sock, okay? And we're gonna create depth by lighting and creating separation. So we're going to light our subject in the foreground, Reggie, right? The clothes basket and all that. And we are not going to light the background. So everything in the background of Reggie, everything in the background of the scene, we're not going to light it. We're only going to light the subject in the foreground, creating separation. Let's do it. So this is our shot. No lighting, curtains wide open, sunlight's just pouring into the room, hitting everything. The lighting isn't bad. This is actually usable, but we could create more separation and depth with lighting.
We want to control the light coming in, and then we want to add whatever light we want to get the tone and the mood that we're going for. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to like close these curtains down here, because I only want like a sliver of light, right? So we're just gonna block a lot of it out, or at least diffuse a lot of it out. Cool. Now we got a sliver, and we'll set up our fill light situation as well.
We're gonna power our key light on. Boom. So we're halfway there now. Now we've just got like a jet of light crossing the frame here. Over here it's kind of dark, right? So we want a little light wrap action. Let's pop this light stick on here, and this is giving me fill over here, and it's sort of modeling or wrapping light around me.
This fill is only powerful enough to really light up here, which is what we want, right? Where the subject is and all the action is. We just want the light up here. We don't want a whole lot of light back there. We're gonna add another light here. This light is like imitation sunlight just bouncing around the room.
It just gives us a little something over here so it's not so dark, right? And there you have it. We've just created separation by lighting the subject independently from the background. This is what I was going for, and this is what I got. Using the exact same lighting setup for the close-up in this shot as well. But what if you don't have a lot of depth in your shot? What if you're not shooting into a room? Can you still create depth with this technique? Well, let's find out. By default, there isn't much depth in this shot. It's a POV of Reggie discovering the sock, and he's looking at the sock in his hand. The subject of the shot is the sock in Reggie's hand. The background is going to be the bed. We're gonna light the subject. We are not going to light the background, or at least we're going to not light the background as much. We want the subject to pop out at us, okay? We want it to feel 3D. So let's go ahead on and light the shot. For the most part, I'm using the same lighting setup as the last shot with just some minor adjustments.
We've got like a fill light situation over here, key light over there. The dark clothing here is gonna make for nice separation with this white sock. White sock, dark clothing, so it's gonna pop out all day, every day, twice on a Sunday. Gonna make my job really, really easy.
Here's the concept we were going for, and here is the finished result. I'd say mission accomplished, because my hands and that sock are looking mighty liberated from that background. I'd say that separation is looking diabolical. Can you light for diabolical separation in something like an extreme close-up? Does it still work, or does that whole technique fall apart? Well, let's see. It's one of the coverage pieces of him examining the sock. Let's go ahead on and light this for diabolical separation and see what happens. We're gonna light the subject for separation as best we can. Probably gonna use 2 lights for this. And whatever we see in the background, we are not going to light it. We're gonna keep as much light off of it as we can. Does it still hold up? Let's find out. So we have our Yokoi stick.
Key light, light stick, camera. So this will give us that shape, that separation from the background.
And we're trying to keep as much light off of the back wall as possible so everything doesn't look overlit. Okay. My light sticks are dimmed all the way down to 15% because I want the lighting to look natural, not nuclear. Okay. More subtle. Here's the shot we're going for here, and here is the final result. I wouldn't say the separation is quite diabolical, but the subject is popping out. We do got a little bit of 3D action happening. We got a problem. What happens when you want to achieve diabolical separation in your lighting in a scene where you've already got an interesting lighting scheme happening in the background? Such is the case in this next scene where we find Reggie gift wrapping the sock.
So I'm already digging the splash of light that we're getting on this back wall in the garage here. We have these pretty colors, but it's very soft looking. And I want to preserve this, okay? I don't want to lose this. So the way I can keep this is while I'm lighting, I want to keep light from hitting this back wall.
So this is the shot with no lighting. Still very usable, not bad. This is totally usable, okay? I'm gonna switch to the version with lighting, and I want you to look at that back wall and see how much light we've kept off of it. So this is our shot. We're set up. All of my lighting is kind of angled this way, so as to keep light off the back wall. We got a little pop light giving me some rim action, giving me a little 3D action. This helps separate me from the background. This little guy is dimmed all the way down to 10% because I just want a little pop, just a little skosh. We've got 2 light sticks in the back over here. They're like imitation sunlight coming through those garage windows, and again, it's giving me more separation over here. These bad boys are dimmed down to 25%, so between these 2 lights, they pop me out of the background. My friends, I believe that we have achieved diabolical levels of separation. This is just nasty work. What we have done here today has gotta be illegal in at least 14 states. Next is post-production, editing, sound design, Foley, etc.
We're not out of the woods yet. Remember the part where Britt said she would like to be able to, watch the final version and kind of put her stamp of approval on it before I release it? That part. I'm a little nervous. I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. I've done everything I could do to kind of honor the boundaries. We're gonna see. What'd you think?
I liked it. Thank you for respecting my boundaries.
Of course. Do you see what I meant though? Like, we barely see you. It's just like fragment pieces of you, but we don't really get a clear look at you.
I like it. Thank you.
So can we release it?
I'm afraid not.
You're afraid not?
I'm just kidding.
Don't joke around. Seriously, like, are you comfortable with me releasing? I can make changes if there's anything you're not comfortable with, but
no, it's good.
so you're good with every. There's nothing in there you were like, I don't know.
No, I thought it was very well done, and you kept my boundaries in mind, so very thankful.
All right. Awesome. We passed the test. Yay. That was a freaking workout. You can click the link right here to see the final result. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you thought. And yeah, see you over there. Keep it out.